अच्छा आगे इधर से इधर बैठ बहन की ये शुरू के किस्ता
Krishnapada Paramahamsa Gurajakacarya Ashtottara Sata Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravanda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Gurajakacarya Ashtottara Sata Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगाबाई की यमुनाबाई की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी देवी की कलि गोपाल हरिनाम संकीर्तन की हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha श्रीचैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. My humble obeisances to all the devotees at ISKCON Richmond. First time I'm coming here. But to remember the names also is a bit difficult. And I'm very happy with the loving association of Divyanam Prabhu and also all the devotees here. When I'm traveling to different places, I'm meeting so many wonderful devotees whom I have not met before, and I'm learning a lot of new things and developing my appreciation for Srila Prabhupada's mercy. How much Prabhupada's mercy has expanded to every nook and corner of this entire world. Prabhupada is carrying Srimad Bhagavatam, is carrying the magnanimity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to different places. So many people are gratefully following his teachings, distributing his books, distributing what is there inside his books, and following his teachings. This is Krishna Shakti. Krishna Shakti vina nahi tara pravartana. It's not that easy for an ordinary person to spread like that. Prabhupada is not ordinary. Prabhupada could do it because he is empowered with the entire parampara, his own spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I was asked by the devotees here to speak on Gundica Marjan, a very beautiful episode from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 12. Next month we are celebrating Rath Yatra, so probably the preparation starts 1 month before only. I'm happy to share from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes this whole episode of Gundica Marjan in a very enchanting way. He begins the chapter with this beautiful shloka. You can try to repeat after me. Sri Gundica Mandiramatma Vrindaihi Sri Gundica Mandiramatma Sammarchayan Kshalayantah Sagauraha Svachittavat Shitalam Ujvalam Cha Krishnopaveshau Paikam Chakara Shri Gundica Mandira Mandiram Atma Vrindaihi. Atma Vrinda means his own personal associates. Sri Gundica Mandiram, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered Gundica Mandir along with his loving associates, Atma Vrindaihi. Sammarjayan Shalayantaha Sagvaraha. Gauranga Mahaprabhu is cleaning the temple of Gundicha with so much of dedication. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is the controller, master, proprietor of this entire universe. He is Bhoktaram Yajnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. And he is doing temple cleaning. When we are asked to clean a temple, if we are not being enthusiastic to clean, I should clean. Do you know my experience? Do you know where I stand? When we are having such thoughts, please read this chapter. The Supreme Lord, in the mood of a devotee, is cleaning the temple of the Lord. The mode of being a devotee of Krishna, the mode of being a servant of Krishna is so valuable, is so exciting, so joyful that even the Supreme Lord Krishna aspires to be in that mode. Krishna dasa abhimanaye ananda sindho koti brahma sukhana he tara eka bindu. The abhiman, the conception of being a servant of Krishna, the identity of being a servant of Krishna can immerse us in a notion of bliss. That in comparison to the bliss of being a servant of Krishna, in comparison to a drop of the oceanic bliss of being a servant of Krishna, is way superior to Brahmananda. You multiply that Ananda of merging into Brahman with 1 crore, and you take one little drop of being a servant of Krishna, this weighs more than that. The mode of being a servant of Krishna gives the soul such unparalleled spiritual bliss that the soul can conveniently disregard the happiness of karma, jnana, yoga, and all other paths. As Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva dhaneshu yat punya phala pratishta. Atyeti tat sarva vidam viditva yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam. Vedeshu yajneshu, what you get by Vedas, what you get by yajnas, what you do, what you attain by undergoing so many austerities. Dhaneshu, the results that you acquire by giving charity to people. Atyeti tat sarva vidam viditva, all the results you will get by practicing bhakti, and you will get much, much more than all these results. Atyeti tat sarva vidam viditva yogi param sthanam upiti chadyam. Bhakti yogi has param sthanam, the supreme position amongst all the other yogis. Is the best of all yogis. And who is a bhakti yogi? One who is absorbed in the mode of a servant of Krishna. And even Krishna aspires to be in that mode. That's the reason why the Supreme Lord Krishna appeared in the form of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he adopted the mode of a devotee. Which devotee? There are so many devotees. Amongst all the devotees of Krishna, the supreme devotee is Srimati Radharani. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu adopted the mode of Srimati Radharani and doing Gundicha Marjan, cleaning. In Vrindavan, all the gopis of Vrindavan are engaged in so many humble menial services. So humble they are. Sukadeva Goswami describes in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. Yadohane vahanane mathano palepan prem kankhanar bharudito ksanamarjanado gayanti chaina manurakta dhiyo shrukantyo dhanyavrajastriya uru kramachitta yadaha. Yadohane, the gopis of Vrindavan, when they are milking cows, vahanani, when they are cleaning their grains, mathana, when they are churning buttermilk, upalepa, and they're smearing their homes with Gauranga. Prenkankana, and they're swinging on their swings. Arbharutta, and they're taking care of their crying babies. Ukshana, Marjanado, and they're sprinkling water in their courtyards. And Marjana, and they're cleaning their floors. They will be doing all the simple household activities. While doing all these activities, what are they doing? Gayanti Jaina Manurakta Dhiyo Shrukanthya Dhanyavrajastriya Urukramachittayana. They're constantly singing the glories of the Supreme Lord. Their minds are totally immersed in remembrance, in absorption of Krishna's Nama Rupa Gunalila. They're glorifying Krishna's Nama Rupa Gunalila. This is what the gopis are doing. Such exalted devotees, they're doing simple household activities like churning yogurt, cleaning, smearing powder on the floors, on the walls. Such simple activities they are doing. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu adopted the mode of best of all those gopis, and he's also cleaning temple. There's so much joy in doing menial services. When our services are recognized by others and when we are being appreciated, we may think that yes, devotees are pleased with my seva, I am getting blessings. To that degree, it may be okay. But when we receive so much of praise and appreciation and recognition for our services, we could become proud. We could become arrogant. That fame and fanfare may just get into our head. We may disregard those devotees who may not be contributing so much, apparently, from our material calculation. Disrespecting other Vaishnavas, demeaning them, looking down upon them. But ecstasy and happiness and satisfaction can be attained even by rendering services in a very menial way, unnoticed, unrecognized by anybody. When nobody recognizes what we have done, and still if we do that service, we are really enjoying and relishing that service. We are really servants. When we are rendering some service only for public attention, then something wrong in our understanding of seva, the concept of seva itself. So, it is mentioned that a person's integrity is tested by seeing what he or she does when nobody watches. So, although nobody recognizes our service, still if you are inclined to do some service, especially background menial services, they may not require so much specialization. Mahaprabhu is cleaning Gundica temple. Yadu Pocha, anybody can do. It doesn't require special training or specialization. But still, Mahaprabhu is eager to do it. And he encouraged all his servants also to do it. Let's see. Let's meditate on various lessons that we can learn from this episode of Gundica Marjan. Swachittavat Shitalam Ujjvalam Cha. Very important line. Swachittavat Shitalam Ujjvalam Cha. Shitala means very cool. Ujjvala means very bright. Swachittavat. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made entire Gundica temple as cool and as bright as his own consciousness. A devotee's consciousness is cool. Cool in the sense that there is no heat of hatred. There is no heat of envy. There is no heat of anger. There is no burning fire of envy towards other devotees. Cool, calm. That cooling of a devotee represents the devotee's humility, satisfaction, gratitude, compassion, and all these Vaishnava qualities. Ujjvalam, very bright. A devotee's heart is not dark. Dark heart means ignorant heart, lazy, no forgiveness there, hard-hearted. But a devotee's heart is very bright, illuminated by knowledge. How will the devotee's heart become bright? By meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. You see, in the third canto of Bhagavatam. Sanchintayet Bhagavatascharanarvindam Vajrankushadhvajasaroruhalanchanaఢ్యం Uttungaraktavilasannakhachakravala Jyotsnabhirahatamahadhridayandhakaram. When a devotee takes darshan of the lotus feet of the Lord, the effulgence emanating from the toenails of the Lord will dissipate the darkness, thick gloom of darkness of ignorance in the devotee's heart. That's the effect of taking darshan. When we are taking darshan of the Lord's lotus feet, the darkness of the heart is getting dispelled. So this is how a devotee becomes knowledgeable. Mahaprabhu says, Kaviraj Goswami says, Swachittavat Sheetalam Ujjvalam Cha. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made entire Gundica temple as cool and as bright as his own heart. There is no darkness in his heart. There is no heat in his heart. Very cool and very bright. Filled with all Vaishnava qualities and no malice, no anarthas. Then, Krishnopaveshaupayikam Chakara. Krishna. Upaveshaika means, Upavesha means sitting. For Krishna to come and sit on the throne, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is cleaning the throne, cleaning the temple. Because this heart is a place of Krishna's pastimes. You need to keep it clean. The home or a temple or an ashram is Krishna's place. We need to keep it clean. So external cleanliness is just, there is no dust there, there are no cobwebs there. That is external cleanliness. But internal cleanliness means no lust, no envy, no pride, no greed, no jealousy towards other devotees. That is internal cleanliness. Just like we feel comfortable to stay in a place which is very clean without any dust. Similarly, Krishna prefers to stay in a heart which is very clean without any lust. That is how Mahaprabhu is teaching all of us how to clean the temple. That's just the introductory shloka. Now let's begin systematically. How exactly Mahaprabhu cleaned the temple? If you have Vedabase or whatever in your phones or iPads or laptops or whatever, you can see the shlokas. If you don't have, no issue. This is from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 12th chapter. Shloka number 72. In the 71st shloka, Kaviraj Goswami says, in this way the Lord passed some days in great jubilation. Then the car festival of Lord Jagannath approached. 72nd shloka. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then called for Kashi Mishra, the superintendent of this temple, and then he also called Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Okay. So when these three people came, Kashi Mishra, the temple superintendent, his name is Tulasi, elsewhere it's mentioned, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. When three of them came, then Mahaprabhu started speaking to them. He begged them. What is that? Let's recite this. 73. Dina jana pasya prabhu hasiya kahila. Dina jana pasya prabhu hasiya kahila. Gundica mandira marjana seva maginila. Gundica mandira marjana seva maginila. Dina jana pasya prabhu. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went in front of them and requested them, can you please give us permission to clean Gundica temple? The temple superintendent. Please give me permission to clean the temple. Then, Padicha kahe ami sabha seva ka tomar. Padicha kahe ami sabha seva. Ye tomara ichha se hi kartavya amar. Ye tomara ichha se hi kartavya. Hearing this request from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the temple superintendent said, O Lord, you are our Prabhu and we are your servants. Ami sabha sevaka tomar. But how are you asking us that you will clean the temple? Ye tomara ichha se hi kartavya amar. Whatever you desire, that's our kartavya. That's our duty. It's our responsibility to fulfill your desire. So we should not have any objection. But still we have an objection. They will reveal it soon. 75. Visheshe Rajara Agna Hayache Amare Prabhura Agna Sei Yei Sei Shikhar Karibare. Or king. Who is the king? Prataprutra Maharaj. Prataprutra Maharaj told us, whatever you want, we should do. Whatever you expect from us, we should do. So we are obliged to fulfill your request. तोमार योग्य सेवन है मंदिर मार्जन तोमार योग्य सेवन है मंदिर मार्जन एक लीला करा ये तुम्हारा मन एक लीला करा ये तुम्हारा मन. They are saying, temple superintendent is saying, oh Lord, although whatever you say, it's our duty to fulfill. And also our king, Prataprutra Maharaj, instructed us to respond to whatever request that you have and to immediately attend to whatever is your need. But still, we have a concern. What is the concern? Tomar yekya seva nahe mandira marjan. Cleaning the temple is not a yogya seva, a proper service for you. Because the service doesn't require any specialization. And you are the Supreme Lord directly. How can we expect you to perform such a menial service? So when you happen to be the in charge of service, some service, and some big person is coming and asking you, can I do this service? You should have the hesitation. I'll do it. I got one more volunteer. Hello. You should have that hesitation to accept service from a senior person. When somebody is volunteering to assist you and do some menial service, then you should be hesitant to accept it. When somebody is asking you to do a privileged service, then you should have hesitation to accept it. Right? Both. Be hesitant to accept a menial service from a greater person, a senior, and also be hesitant to accept a privileged service when others ask us. But still, desire of the senior is more important. Hesitation may be there. My hesitation is not as important as that person's desire. If you say, no, Prabhu, it's okay, no problem, I will take care. Then if he says, okay, fine, he'll move ahead, then that's fine. But if he's pushing, you said once or twice, two, 3 times, you said, no, don't do it. But still, if he wants to do it, you should honor it. That's what the temple superintendent is saying. Chaitanya Charitamrita is filled with very finer nuances of Vaishnava dealings. If superintendent said no, that's correct. If he said yes, that is also correct. Mahaprabhu is not doing Gundica Marjan, that is correct. If he is doing Gundica Marjan, that is also correct. Right? Because the mood matters. There is no black and white policy or protocol in Vaishnavism. It's all about the mood. In what mood are you doing the service? In what mood are you not doing the service? In what mood are you accepting the service? In what mood are you denying the service? The mood matters. And ultimately the Lord is Bhavagrahi Janardana. Let's go to the 77th shloka. Kintu ghata sammarjani bahut chahiye. Agna deha aji sabha iha aniti. In the previous shloka, the temple superintendent said, Tomar yogya sevana hai mandira marjan. Mandira marjan is not a suitable service to you. But but still, you have this habit, you have this desire to perform this as a leela. It's Gundica Marjan leela. If you want to do this leela, who are we to stop? Let's go ahead. Now, he said that into ghata sammarjane bahut chahiye. But to clean the temple nicely, you need so many ghatas. So many pots are required. Sammarjani, so many brooms are required. बहुत चाहिए. So many you want. Aji Sabha, just tell us. We will arrange all this. Mahaprabhu, of course, we have to arrange all this. When you are receiving service from few volunteers, it's your responsibility to make all arrangements, whatever they need. They are offering their hands. You need to make arrangements so that their hands can function properly. Just because somebody volunteered for seva, you can't just put everything on their head only. Because they are receiving the service, of course, on behalf of Krishna. Still, you are in charge. You are responsible for that service, and somebody is helping you to do that service. So you need to make the necessary arrangements to the best of your ability. If something is not there, you can always communicate. But as much as possible, the person who gives the service should also make some arrangements for the servants to peacefully render that service. Next, Nutana Ekashata Ghata Shata Sammarjani Padicha Aniyadila Prabhura Chajani. Padicha means is temple superintendent. Temple superintendent arranged for so many pots and so many brooms. Okay. The next day, Aradhine Prabhate Layani Jagana Sri Haste Sabara Ange Lepila Chandana. Next day, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called all his dear associates and first he applied chandan on their body. Okay. Next, Sri Haste Dila Sabara Ekaika Marjan Sabagana Laya Prabhu Chalila Apani. First, he applied sandalwood pulp on their bodies. Then he gave jhadu to everybody. This is your service. When somebody comes for prasadam serving, what will you give? You give a spoon to everybody. Serve with this spoon. Now they came for a cleaning service. Take this jhadu, take this broom and start doing this work. One should not think that, hey, what is this? That is my status and what is he expecting me to do? First, he should not do. And he's expecting us to do also. Too much. Sometimes when we are not inclined to do some menial service, there, when we have some reservations, then we may shower some merciful glances on the people who are expecting us to do it. If you are not doing it for some genuine reasons, you have backache or you have some other important task, that's a different thing. But in general, there should be an inclination to do even simple, menial, unnoticeable services also, not only visible services. Then, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave brooms to everybody. Then, Gundica Mandire Gele Karite Marjana. Prathame Marjani Laya Karila Sodhana. In this way, the Lord and his associates went to clean the temple of Gundica. First, they cleansed the temple with brooms. Bhitara Mandira Upara Sakala Majila Simhasana Maji Punaha Sthapana Karila. First, they clean the temple nicely, inside of the temple nicely. Then they also clean the Simhasana, the sitting place, the altar where the Lord is supposed to be sitting there. That is cleansed nicely. So the service has to be done systematically, not randomly. If they begin cleaning from the courtyard is very nicely clean. Then they start cleaning inside. What will happen? The dust from inside the temple will all come on the courtyard bag, which is already clean. Also, when the temple is clean, Mahaprabhu, it will come little later. Mahaprabhu started cleaning the ceiling first. First, he started throwing water on the ceiling. and all the water on the ceiling just fell on the floor. So cleaning the ceiling is clean, and floor is also partially clean because of the water that fell from the ceiling. But if you start cleaning the floor first, washing the floor first, and then the ceiling is not clean, then we start cleaning the ceiling, then it's like doing double work. You should have emotions while doing service, but you should also have intelligence. Being enthusiastic and having emotions is great, but we should also have some intelligence and do the service systematically, not haphazardly. There should be proper planning and strategy in doing service. Next. Where are we? 83rd shloka. Chota bada mandira kaila marjana shodhana. Chetai che shodhila Sri Jagan Mohan. Chota bada mandira kaila marjana shodhana. The Lord and his companions cleaned all the temple's buildings. Within a temple, there are small and big buildings. So they started cleaning all of them. Then they also cleaned the temple, Kirtan hall. In this way, hundreds and thousands of devotees, they personally started cleaning the temple along with the Lord. Important point. चारिदी के शत भक्त सम्मार्जनी करे परिशोधेन प्रभु सिखान सबरे Apani Prabhu Sikhana Sabare. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is personally cleaning and is also teaching others. To empower and instruct and inspire other devotees to serve nicely, the leader has to personally serve first. When the leader personally renders service nicely, then he sets an example for other people to serve, then others will follow. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Yadyadacharati sreshtaha tatta devetaro janaha sayat pramanam kuruti lokas tadanuvartati. Whatever great people do, whatever leaders do, common people tend to follow. Whatever parents do, children tend to follow. Whatever teachers do, students tend to follow. Like that, we need to first set an example. That's what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is personally doing. Apani shodhena Prabhu Sikhana Sabhare is personally doing this just to instruct others. Premollase shodhena layena Krishna nama. Bhaktagana Krishna kahe kare nija kam. Premollase shodhena layena Krishna nama. As they're cleaning the temple, hands are busy, legs are busy. What will the mind do? What will the mouth do? What will the tongue do? They should chant. This is a very important point. When Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridhamrataha. Satatam kirtayanto mam. You should always chant the holy names of the Lord. How is that possible? When we have a doubt. Yeah, from one perspective, it is not possible to always. Means at every moment you cannot. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara yudhacha. Krishna said, you always, at all times, you just remember me while doing your yuddha also. When you are doing your yuddha, how can you remember Krishna? You are doing yuddha, remembering Krishna. If you are remembering Krishna, yuddha will be compromised. If you are totally absorbed in doing the yuddha, you may not be able to remember Krishna. But how can Krishna combine both? Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhacha. How can he combine both? The answer is simple. When Krishna said sarveshu kaleshu, it's not that every moment you remember me. You remember me every day. You remember me every day. Because for a sadhaka, to remember the Lord every moment is not possible. You should daily remember. And as much as possible, they should increase that remembrance quota in a day. But what about other activities? At that time, we are not remembering. Yeah. Do that activities for the pleasure of Krishna. When you are doing an activity to please the Lord, although you are not remembering the Lord, literally remembering the Lord while doing that activity, still that activity is meant to please Krishna. So it is a Krishna conscious activity. It is Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is not just be conscious of Krishna within the mind. Krishna consciousness means to do Krishna conscious activities also. You are engaging your mind, your intelligence in studying Shastra. You are engaging your senses, hands and legs in serving Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness. Is it not Krishna consciousness? Krishna consciousness is not just engaging the mind only in remembering Krishna. Engage your intelligence, engage your hands, engage your legs, engage your ears, everything. Jihve kirtaya keshavam muraripum cheto bhaja sridharam pani dvandva samarchaya chitakatha श्रोत्रद्वयत्वं शृणु कृष्णं लोकयलोचनद्वय हरेर्गच्छाङ्घ्रियुग्मालयम् जिघ्रघ्राण मुकुन्द पादतुलसीं मूर्धन्यमाधोक्ष च. Engage your hands in serving Krishna. Engage your legs in going to Krishna's temple. Engage your eyes in seeing the beautiful form of Krishna. Engage your ears in hearing about Krishna. Engage your tongue in chanting the names of Krishna or tasting Krishna prasadam, which everybody likes. Like that, every sense should be engaged in Krishna's service. Then it is Krishna consciousness. It's not just mind. Mind is one faculty within us. We have intelligence also, we have hands also, legs also. That is also Krishna consciousness. Coming back here, if the physical activity that we are doing doesn't require our mental attention, then you can use that mind space to remember Krishna, to chant Krishna's. You are talking to somebody. At that time you cannot chant. You have to pause your chant. You are not talking to somebody, you are walking. Walking is an activity. But while walking, what will you do? You can chant. You are waiting in the queue for your turn. The security person is there. You are holding your passport and boarding pass, and there are some 30 people in the line. Your turn comes after not 2 3 minutes or 5 minutes. What will you do? Chant. But when the security person is asking you, show me your passport, and you are interacting, there you may not chant. So we need to maximize our chanting. And when we are chanting, we need not count also. 16 rounds you count. Beyond 16 rounds also, if we have bandwidth, you can count. But there are some rounds or some names that we chant off beats also. Just while walking, casually you are walking from here to the car. On the way, what will you do? Chant the holy names of Krishna. Now, all these people who are cleaning the temple, they don't have japamalas in their hands. They have jhadu in their hands. They have pots in their hands. They have water in their hands. And they are cleaning the temple. So hands and legs are engaged. But what will the tongue do? What will the mind do? Remember Krishna. What will the tongue do? Chant Krishna. Chant the names of Krishna. That's what they are doing. Constantly chanting Krishna's names. Premollasa shodhena layena Krishnanam. They are prema ullasa. They are totally absorbed in prema and they are chanting Krishna's name. Bhaktagana Krishna kahe kare nijatama. Every activity they are doing, they are accompanying Krishna's names there. In this way, when we chant Krishna's names, either softly or loudly or internally or externally, if we increase the utterance or remembrance of Krishna's names while doing our day-to-day activities, that's an effective way of becoming Krishna conscious. Mahaprabhu is teaching us through Gundica Marjan. Then, Dhuli Dusharatano Dekhite Shobhana Grahakaha Astrujale Kare Sammarjana. Dhuli Dusharatano Dekhite Shobhana. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's entire body was covered with dust because he is cleaning the temple which is filled with dust, and all the dust comes on his body also. While he is taking the dust outside the temple, some dust goes on his body also, and he is looking so beautiful, even with dust on his face. And Kaha Kaha Ashru Jale Kare Sammarjana, he had tears in his eyes while cleaning the temple. Not that now why did they engage me in this cleaning? Why am I being Why am I doing this menial service? That's the reason for his crying. He's crying out of love. When there is absorption in the service that you are doing, when there is love in the service that you are doing, when you are lovingly rendering that service, naturally tears will come. You may not get in the sadhaka stage, but because they are very advanced premi bhaktas, they are having tears in their eyes. With gratitude they are doing. When Sudama came to Dwarka palace, Krishna washed Sudama's feet. He had tears in his eyes. Means Krishna's washing of Sudama's feet is not just a ritual, not just a formality. Some Brahmana guest came, I'm a Kshatriya prince, I need to wash his feet. It's a formality. No, he's doing it with love. Therefore, tears are coming. These are tears of love. Lord Jagannath ji, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the mood of a devotee of Lord Jagannath, in the mood of Srimati Radharani specifically, in the mood of the gopis, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is having tears in his eyes out of love for Krishna. Tomorrow, Jagannath ji will sit on this throne. So I must clean it very nicely. Very thought that Krishna is going to come to Vrindavan. Gundica temple is like Vrindavan. The very thought that Krishna is going to come to Vrindavan made Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so overwhelmed that he had tears in his eyes. Next shloka. 87th. Bhoga Mandira Shodhana Kari Sodhila Prangana Sadala Avasakrami Karila Shodhana. They cleaned the Bhoga Mandira. Bhoga Mandira is the place where Lord's Bhoga is kept. And they cleaned the surroundings also. Next. Tuni Trina Dhuli Jhinkur Sabha Ekatra Kariya Hirva se Leya Filaya Bahira Kariya. Prabhu collected all these straw, dust, and grains of sand in one place, and he gathered it all in his cloth and threw it outside. He is using his own personal cloth to clean. So he has a jhadu in his hand, cloth became his pocha. Means my personal clothes are not as important as the cleanliness of the temple. My clothes can become dirty, but the Lord's temple must be clean. That is his mood. Sometimes we become very self-absorbed and self-conscious that we want to keep our things clean, but we don't mind when others' things become unclean. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very conscious that anything that belongs to Krishna must be clean. Whether it's temple or devotees, they must be clean, they must be pure. So to keep them clean, even if I become little dirty, it's okay. यही मत भक्त गण करि निज वासे धूलि बाहिरे फैलाय परम हरिषे. Seeing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's personal example, all the other devotees also followed the same thing. They also did not hesitate to use their personal clothes or upper clothes, uttariya, to clean the temple if required. Prabhu kahe ke kata kariya cha sammarjan Kirna thudi dekhi lehi janiba parisham. A very important point that Mahaprabhu is making. Prabhu kahe ke kata kariya cha sammarjan. Who clean how much, I will understand by how much dust you have collected. Dhuli dekhilehi janiba parishram. Parishram is your endeavor. How much hard work you have done, I will assess by seeing how much dhuli you have collected. Apparently, everybody is engaged in the activity, but some people will collect this much dhuli, some people this much dhuli. Although the Lord is bhavagrahi, he sees the mood more than the magnitude. For him, attitude behind service is more important than the magnitude of service. Hanumanji was bringing big boulders but the squirrel is only pushing some small pebbles and stones and dust particles. But Lord Ram is pleased equally. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that I will assess how much hard work you have done by seeing the amount of dust you have collected. So far, we know that the Lord focuses on the mood and attitude, but here the Lord is focusing on the quantity and magnitude. What is this? When somebody collects less dust, uh, is it that he's a low devotee? Is that the message there? Why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying like this? Answer is simple. When you are capable of doing some service, when you have the time and bandwidth and ability to do that service, you cannot withdraw your energies. You cannot hold back your capacity. Put your full heart. Here there is no comparison between Hanuman and squirrel. Among so many devotees here, who is Hanuman and who is squirrel? All are human beings only. All are the Lord's associates and devotees. Here there is some kind of equality in one sense. And on top of it, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also, by saying this statement, he is also encouraging all of us to give your full 100%. Put your full energy. Although the Lord is Bhavagrahi, still, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says you should put your full energy. Don't just say I have so much bhava, but don't expect any work from me. Okay? I have bhakti for you, don't expect karma from me. But Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, you should have Vahyavesha Manoyevam, you should have bhakti, but mat karmakran mat paramo mat bhaktaha sangavachitaha. Mat karmakran, render service also. If attitude is good, why should the magnitude be low? If the quality of our devotion is great, why should the quantity of our service be small? Let's do more quantity service, especially when you are capable of doing. If Krishna has given you some energy, some strength, some money, some manpower, some experience, some skills, why not utilize all of them in his service? If Krishna has given a tongue, why not use it to chant Krishna's names? If Krishna has given us some hands and legs, why not engage them to their fullest extent in Krishna's service? Don't hold back your energies. That's what Mahaprabhu is trying to say. Don't cut corners. Don't hide. I will assess how much you have served, how much parishrama you have done by seeing the amount of dhuli that you have collected. Mahaprabhu is saying this. In the name of cultivating the right mood, we cannot compromise on the amount of service we do. If you don't have bandwidth, if you are not very experienced, that's a different thing. You cannot expect a small child to do as much service as a grown-up adult. There, it's very clear. You do your best. You may not be the best, but you do your best. In this context, Mahaprabhu is saying that you do your best, and in the name of doing your best, you can't say, I can't do more than this. Don't hold back your energies. You try to extend yourself as much as you can and do give your full potential. 91st sloka. Sabara, even though all the devotees collected dirt in one pipe, the dirt collected by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was much greater because he had more love. After the inside of the temple was cleansed, the Lord again allotted areas for the devotees to cleanse. The Lord then ordered everyone to cleanse the inside of the temple very perfectly by taking finer dust, straws, and grains of sand and throwing them outside. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing a gross cleaning in the first round. Then he would go to subtle cleaning. Once you have cleaned all the dust and all, you focus on even the finer dust particles which are just lying there in other corners. You just do a second round of cleaning. Sabha Vaishnavalaya Yabe Duiba Sodhilam Deki Mahaprabhurmane Santoshahilam. Vaishnavas served cleansed the temple for a second time. Mahaprabhu became very happy seeing the quality of cleaning. Arashata Janashata Ghate Jalabhari हमें लाया ऐसे काला अपेक्षा करी. While the devotees were cleaning the temple, hundreds of men were ready with water pots. Now, broom cleaning is over. Cleaning with the broom is finished. Dust is finished. Now you have to pour water there. So hundreds of devotees filled water pots from Indrajamna Sarovar and they were ready to throw water as soon as they get instruction. As soon as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called for water, all the men immediately brought hundreds of water pots, which were completely filled and delivered before the Lord. In this way, Mahaprabhu washed the temple first. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first washed the main temple and then thoroughly washed the ceiling, the walls, the floor, the sitting place, Simhasan, and everything else within the room. Mahaprabhu himself and his devotees began to throw water onto the ceiling. This water fell, it washed the walls and the floor. And I said in the beginning, you throw water on the ceiling, automatically the water will fall on the walls and the floor, and some partial cleaning can happen here. Then you can just do a little more thorough cleaning. So systematic way of rendering service is emphasized here. Sri Haste Karena Simhasane Ramarjana Prabhu आगे जल अनि देय भक्तगण. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is personally cleaning the Simhasana. Very important point. When you are doing some service, some aspects of the service are very crucial, very critical. You cannot allot them to less experienced people. If something is very critical, you personally do it. If something is simple, then you can ask the less experienced devotees or younger ones to do it. That does not mean you hold on to the privileges, you hold on to the most critical and crucial and privileged services, and you don't allow others to grow. While assisting others to grow and become more and more experienced, you should also understand that currently where do they stand? Currently, these devotees are not sufficiently experienced. They need some training. Let me give the training. But at this moment, I think I must do this service. So a leader should also not hesitate to do the critical aspects of the service in the name of taking a back seat, in the name of maintaining a low profile, in the name of remaining in the background. If you allow younger people or inexperienced people to take care of the most crucial services, they may mess up. That may become disservice. So there is nothing wrong in someone taking up the most crucial service if one is sufficiently experienced, when others are not yet experienced. That's why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is personally cleaning the Simhasana. Sri Hasta Karena Simhasanera Marjan. Prabhu Age Jani Ani Jala Ani Deya Bhakta Gana. As Mahaprabhu is washing the sitting place of Jagannath with his own hands, devotees started bringing water for him. So he was taking assistance from other devotees to do this crucial service. Bhaktagana Kari Grahan Madhya Prakshalan Nija Nija Hastakare Mandiramarjan. Then all the devotees within the temple began to wash. Each one had a broom in his hand, and in this way they cleansed the temple of the Lord. When you are pouring water, you should also have broom to just push water like this. Earlier, plain broom, dry broom to remove the gross dust, and after that, broom with water to clean the finer dust. Keha jala anideya Mahaprabhara kare. Keha jala deya tara charan upare. As Mahaprabhu is cleaning the Simhasan, some devotee came. Many devotees came with water pots to assist Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu is absorbed in cleaning water. Some devotee very playfully poured water on Mahaprabhu's foot. Others did not notice it. Mahaprabhu did not notice it. Another devotee is just taking that foot water and then drinking. Another devotee from behind, they said, give me also a little Maha. Very requesting. Whenever you have some opportunity, grab some mercy. Not in a very gross and aggressive way, but be smart to not miss the opportunity to get some extra mercy. That's what he's saying. But not at the cost of displeasing the other person. You need to be a little smart. Keha jala anideya Mahaprabhur kare. We said it this way. Next sloka. The water that fell from the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was drunk by someone who hid himself. Someone else begged for that water, and another person was giving that water in charity. After the room was washed, the water was let out through an outlet, and it then flowed and filled the yard outside. Those days, some temples have some small holes in some corner. I don't know, modern houses may not have that, but olden houses have small hole is there. All the water that washed the floor would just go through it into the canal. So all that water went into the courtyard. So courtyard is half clean. They clean the ceiling. Walls are partially clean. Floor is partially clean. Now they clean the walls and floors, then courtyard is partially clean. That's how you save water and effectively utilize resources. Is effective utility of resources. Gharadui Pranalikaya Jalachadidila 103. Sei Jale Prangana Sabha Bhariya Rahila Nijavastri Kaila Prabhu Grihasam Marjan Mahaprabhu Nijavastri Malila Simhasan. Mahaprabhu mopped the Simhasan with his own clothes. After that, in this way, the rooms were cleansed with 100 water pots, and after the rooms were cleansed, the mind of the devotees were as clean as the rooms. Earlier, we have seen the first shloka. The Mahaprabhu, when he cleaned the Gundica temple, the temple became as clean as his mind. Now it's mentioned that when Mahaprabhu engaged all his devotees to clean the temple, their minds were as clean as the temple. Earlier, temple became as clean as Mahaprabhu's mind. Now, devotees' minds became as clean as the temple. You understand? When we follow the instructions of the Lord, then our heart will be cleansed. Our heart will be cleansed nicely. In this context, let's go to Bhagavatam for a moment. There are so many anarthas in the heart. How to destroy all these anarthas and abhadras? We need to perform devotional service. And there are 9 processes of devotional service. Of them, the foremost is Shravana, hearing. Nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu means all the anarthas are almost cleansed. Not completely, almost cleansed. By what? Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya means you regularly study Srimad Bhagavatam, or you regularly serve devotees who have internalized the principles of Bhagavatam. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Then Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Then your bhakti will become Naishtiki. Naishtiki means very steady. Steadiness in devotional service and becoming fixed in the path of bhakti is possible by regularly hearing Bhagavatam and serving devotees. And how our bhakti will become more naistiki? Because anarthas are destroyed by hearing Bhagavatam. How anarthas are destroyed by hearing Bhagavatam? When you are hearing Bhagavatam, you are inviting Krishna into your ears, through ears into your heart. प्रविष्टः कर्णरन्ध्रेण स्वानां भावसरोरुहं धुनोति शमलं कृष्णः सलिलस्य यथा शरत्. When you are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, you are allowing Krishna to enter your ear holes and to ear holes into your heart, and he will clean all the anarthas. Just as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cleansed this Gundica temple and made it as clean as his heart, by engaging in the cleaning of Gundica temple, the devotees' hearts became as clean as the temple itself. When somebody's heart is clean, he will clean the surroundings. Means whenever a person with clean heart enters a place, he will naturally cleanse the hearts of all the people around him. Bhavat Vida Bhagavataha Tirtha Bhutaha Swayam Vibho Tirthe Kurvanti Tirthani Swantastena Gadabhrita. When sinful people visit holy places, they take holy baths and dump all their sinful reactions in the holy places. But when pure devotees go to the holy places, they will clean the holy places because they are holding Krishna in their hearts. They are so pure-hearted, they can even eradicate all the sinful actions of sinful people which they have dumped in the holy place. So, pure devotees can clean all the places and the hearts of people who come in contact with them. That is about pure devotees purifying potency. And coming to the case of a conditioned soul, common person or a struggling sadhaka, how will their heart be cleansed? When they follow the footsteps of a pure devotee. When they engage themselves in services as instructed by a pure devotee. A conditioned soul or struggling sadhaka's hearts are cleansed by following the instructions of a pure devotee. And a pure devotee can sanctify all the places by his personal presence or even by his remembrance. Yesham samsmaranat pumsaha satyah shuddhyanti vaikrihaha kim punardarshana sparsha pada sochasana devi. Just by the remembrance of a pure devotee, our homes are sanctified, our hearts are cleansed. What to speak of washing their lotus feet? What to speak of touching them? What to speak of seeing them? What to speak of serving them? The pure devotee purifies everybody. Just like the remembrance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead purifies our hearts inside and outside. You know that shloka? Om apavitraha pavitro va sarvavasthangato pivayah smare pundarikaksham sabahyabhyantara suchihi. Just by remembering Pundarikaksha Lord, we are cleansed internally and externally. Just as the Lord can purify us internally and externally, a devotee's remembrance and devotee's presence also can purify us internally and externally. We are all aspiring for that purification in the presence of devotees. Next shloka. Since hundreds of men were engaged in bringing water from the lake, there was no place to stand on the banks. Consequently, someone began to draw water from well. They were so enthusiastic to get water and contribute for this cleaning. So they are trying to fetch water from different sources, well and lake. Hundreds of devotees brought water in pots, and hundreds took the empty pots away to fill them up again. There was no pipe there. There is no water jet. There are no taps. There are no sprinklers. So people have to manually fill water in earthen pots and bring them all the way from the lake to the temple. Nityananda Advaita Swarupa Bharati Puri Ihavino Arasabha Ane Jalabhari. Except Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Swarup Damodar Goswami, Brahmananda Bharati, Paramananda Puri, everyone brought water pots. Again, the principle is when some senior persons are engaged in a service, they may be given something that they can easily do, unless they volunteer to do something which is little tough. The younger devotees should take the responsibility of doing the most active and menial kind of tasks. Entire cleaning of Gundica temple is a menial service, but within that also, cleaning Simhasana is considered more crucial than cleaning the floor and wall. Cleaning temple is considered more crucial than cleaning the courtyard. Cleaning in the temple is considered more crucial than getting water pots from the lake. So that requires little extra hard work, and also it's more straightforward. Physically, it may be little more intense. But sitting there with a mop and then doing like this is on one level. But going all the way to the lake, filling water pot and carrying that heavy weight all the way to the temple is little more hard work. But that's more straightforward. To get water and then they will clean. This is more important. Cutting sabji may be more hard work. But choke. Just mixing all the sabji and then just taking the spoon and doing like this may be less hard work, but this requires more expertise. Cutting sabji anybody can do. Actually cooking, those who are experienced can do. Right? Those who have nothing to do with cooking also can do some sabji cutting. But cooking has to be done by an expert. Like that. So Nityananda Prabhu, Jagadananda, Advaitacharya, all these people did not fill water pots, they were only cleaning. Many of the water pots were broken when people collided with one another, and hundreds of men had to bring new pots. When we are doing some service, a big project, some losses are natural. We should not bother about it so much. There can be some loss, some damage. So earthen pots, they are not iron pots. The earthen pots, they may collide with each other. Everybody is working so hard. So a leader should tolerate some damage also. Sometimes there are mistakes in service. Small damages, small mistakes can happen. There may be shortcomings, there may be some faults and defects in service. It's okay. Why you have broken the pot? Nobody deliberately did it. They are in a hurry, probably they collided with each other and pots broke. So what did they do? Without creating a big mess, without creating a big issue out of it, they just got new water pots. So that much bandwidth we should have. Some tolerance, some patience, some accommodativeness. Accommodating others' faults that is required for proper execution of a service. If you want everyone to be a perfectionist, we'll alone do that service. Don't expect perfectionism from everybody. Better tolerate their faults and be grateful for whatever they are contributing. Jala bhare ghara doya करे हरि ध्वनि कृष्ण हरि ध्वनि बिना आर नहीं सुनी. When they are bringing water pots, there is some communication that they are supposed to do, right? Get this here, give it there. Nityananda Prabhu wanted this pot, he needs 10 pots, just immediately go and deliver there. Advaitacharya wanted the pots in this corner, go and give him. Mahaprabhu is cleaning the Singhasana, you just go and give him pots. So some communication has to happen. But you know how they are communicating? Hari Hari, Hari Hari, Krishna Krishna, Govinda Govinda. So like that they are chanting holy names and then showing some directions so that the service can happen properly. As much as possible, maximize the utterance of Krishna's holy names rather than just verbally communicating something. How many times do we bring Krishna Katha into picture in our regular interactions? How many times do we bring Krishna's holy names in our communication? So we can communicate it in a more Krishna conscious way. If we can transform our interactions with each other by bringing the utterance of holy names as much as possible into our interactions, that's a very effective way of becoming Krishna conscious. Jai Shri Gauranga Bhagavan. They're saying Krishna Hari Dhvani Vina Ara Nahi Suni. In this way, the communication, the interactions, the conversations between devotees are filled with only Krishna Hari, Krishna Hari, Krishna Hari. Krishna Hari Dhvani Vina Ara Nahi Suni. No other word was audible. This whole communication. Such a big project of cleaning Gundica Marjan is happening with only 2 words. When there is collaboration, when there is cooperation, And when there is willingness to accommodate each other's shortcomings, meeting time becomes less, acting time will become more. Before Gundica Marjan, not much meeting happened. He just called the three people, Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya and the temple superintendent and one more Kashi Mishra, and just said, we want to clean temple. They said, okay, fine. Next day morning, they all came. What did Mahaprabhu do? Not a big meeting, not a everybody who will do what, no service allocation, nothing like that. He just applied sandalwood pulp and gave a jhadu to everybody. That's the only meeting. Apply sandalwood pulp, give a broom. Everything will happen. But you go here, you go here, you go here. It doesn't require so much of meeting. And even while executing the service, not so much of verbal, long instructions given. Hari Hari, Krishna Krishna, Gauranga Gauranga. They are just Hari Krishna, that's all, nothing else. So how wonderful it is if you can interact like that. Not that easy, but still we can try, we can endeavor it. One day you do cooking with like this. Janmashtami cooking or whatever. Instead of you speaking sentences, let's say Hari Hari Krishna Krishna. Let's not shy to do this. 112. Krishna Krishna kahi kare ghatera prathan. Krishna Krishna kahi kare ghata samarpan. Ghatera prathan. Somebody is asking, give me pot. And somebody is saying, Ghate samarpan. Somebody is offering that pot that he asked for. But they are not saying, give me pot, take this pot. They are saying, Krishna, 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 Krishna. Instead of saying, give me pot, they say, Krishna, Krishna. Instead of saying, take this pot, they say, Krishna, Krishna. That's how communication is happening. Ye kahe se kahe Krishna name. Krishna nama haila sanketa sab kami. Whenever anyone had to speak, he said so by uttering Krishna nama. Consequently, the name of Krishna became an indication for everyone who wanted something. He's saying Krishna, Krishna, he needs something. It's understood. Krishna, Krishna. Thus, all other words are reduced. You don't need so much vocabulary, so much sentence construction. They say Krishna, 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 Krishna. Things will become very easy in Gundica Marjan. But if at all you want to use vocabulary, your poetic abilities, your eloquence, your grammatical abilities, use that to glorify Krishna's name, Krishna's form. Use all your vocabulary, education, poetic abilities in glorifying Krishna, and then our skills are properly being utilized. Otherwise, they are being misutilized. As Akrura says, Yasyakhilam vahavis sumangalehi vacho bimishra gunakarma janmabhi prananti sumbhanti punanti vaijagat yastadvirakta shavashobhanamati. Yasyakhilam vahavis sumangalehi. He says that the words that are describing Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, they are the real life of this universe. Prananti. Krishna Katha induces life in this world. Shumbhanti. Krishna Katha beautifies this world. Punanti. Krishna Katha purifies this world. Krishna Katha animates, purifies and beautifies this world. But those words that are devoid of descriptions of Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, they are like Shava Shobhana, decorations on a dead body. Decorations of a dead body. Just imagine. So we need to increase the glorification of Krishna or directly chant the names of Krishna in our interactions as much as possible. Krishna Nama Haila Sankyata Sabakare. The sixth canto of Bhagavatam says, Sanketyam Parihasyam Va Stobham Helanameva Va Vaikunthanama Grihanam Aseshadhaharam Viduhu. Sanketyam Parihasyam. We are indicating somebody. Or Parihasyam, you are joking with somebody. Stobham, Helanameva. Even if you are neglecting somebody, somehow or the other, intentionally or unintentionally, consciously or unconsciously, if you chant the names of Krishna, Asesha Agha Haram Vidu. Please understand that unintentional chanting of the name Krishna can completely destroy all your sinful reactions. What to speak of intentional chanting? What to speak of conscious chanting of Krishna's names? Alamalamalameeka Praninam Patakana Nirasana Vishayeya Krishna Krishneti Vadi Yadi Bhavati Mukunde Bhaktirananda Sandra Karatala Kalita Sa Moksha Samrajya Lakshmi. Yadi Bhavati Mukunde Bhaktirananda Sandra. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna can immerse us in an ocean of bliss of bhakti. And moksha or liberation becomes insignificant. And it can completely destroy all sinful reactions also. Therefore, consciously or unconsciously, intentionally or unintentionally, attentively or inattentively, somehow chant the names of Krishna. Initially, we have bigger concern, but chanting is not attentive. So, of course, sadhakas, we are distracted, we have so many difficulties, but still, even without attention, chant and try for attention, pray for that attention, and mold your life in such a way that you can be attentive as much as possible. If you have some early morning service, okay, that's a different thing. Early morning you have dressing, 4:30 you have to enter the altar. You dress and then come out at 7 o'clock, 7:30. The rounds are pending. Try to get up early and chant. If that is also not possible, after that you have to chant. Sometimes the quality of rounds may become less as the day progresses. But at least when you don't have the dressing seva early morning, that time you can utilize to chant. As much as possible, if you chant early in the morning, in Brahma Muhurta, before about 7, 8, whatever, that will help us do a more focused chanting. Because you just slept 6, 7 hours, you had good rest, morning just took a bath, your mind is fresh, your mind is not loaded with so many anxieties or discussions that you have had throughout the day. Your body is not so tired, body is fresh. If you use that prime time where you are more energetic, more fresh, you have more ability to concentrate and focus to chant Krishna's names, then the chanting will be better, isn't it? But despite all that, chanting in any way will definitely benefit us. That's what they're indicating. Premavesh Prabhu kahe Krishna Krishna nama. Ekale premavesh kare shata janir kama. While chanting Krishna 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 nama so many times, Mahaprabhu is doing the work of 100 people at a time. One person doing the work of 100 people. The chanting of the names of the Lord in the background empowers us to do our services more effectively. Will make our services more devotional, more spiritual. Although you are serving Krishna, ultimately the result of your activity is meant to please Krishna. But while doing that service, if there is a possibility at least, remember Krishna, chant Krishna's name. You are cooking, making sweet rice. In the name of chanting Hare Krishna, remembering Krishna, don't put salt and stuff. So whatever attention is required to do that service, give that much attention. But when we are doing some service which doesn't require so much of your attention, chant Krishna's names. Fill in all the gaps that you have in your day with Krishna's names. In fact, it should be the other way around. Chanting Krishna's name should be constant activity. Then you may have little breaks to do some trivial activities for self-preservation. But at least in sadhaka stage that may not be so much possible. You better try to maximize your chanting as much as possible. When you're walking, taking bath, what will you do while taking bath? What is the mind doing? What is the tongue doing? Hands and legs are just moving, and then you are just trying to clean your body. But what is the tongue doing? Chant Krishna's names. That's how you can increase the chanting. You may not count all these rounds. While taking what I finished 2 rounds. You don't have to say that. Don't read the 16 number there. That's extra chanting. Don't put it into 16. शतहस्ते करेण येन क्षालनमार्जन प्रतिजाने पाशय यही कारण शिक्षण. Mahaprabhu was cleaning, although he's doing it with 2 hands, it appeared as if he is like a Sahasrabahu. He is doing with hundreds of hands. And he approached every devotee to teach them how to do it. While he's doing, he's also training to do like this, do like that. When he saw someone doing nicely, the Lord praised him. Bhala karma dekhi kare kare prashamsana. Mane na milile kare pavitra bhatsana. When somebody is doing the service so nicely, Mahaprabhu appreciated him. When somebody is not doing the service nicely, Mahaprabhu did pavitra bhatsana, means pure chastisement. Means chastisement done or scolding them with a pure heart, pure intention. Sometimes when we chastise others, they may get hurt. They may feel discouraged. They may feel disappointed. But your chastisement should be in such a way that they should feel encouraged and determined to do it better. Chastisement or giving a feedback is supposed to be encouraging others to do things better, not discouraging them to do the thing at all. Don't discourage people in doing their service and help them do better. Why, our feedbacks are sometimes not very effective? Because we focus on the failed past more than on the bright future. This is where we have gone wrong. We say that. Yeah, you may have to say that as a matter of necessity. But don't just stop there. Instead of saying this is the way, this is where we have gone wrong, you say this is how you can do it better. Just focus only on this and ignore this. Or do this, means say that they have gone wrong in these areas. But apart from that, you also mentioned where they can improve. If the focus is too much on the past, which cannot be changed, and if you don't focus on the future at all, then they'll feel discouraged. It becomes very austere for us to give feedback. It becomes very austere for the person to receive feedback also, because there's too much of discussion on the faults, shortcomings, and negativity. But you can make the entire feedback session very positive by focusing on the future. This is how you can do it well. Offer them some practical help instead of just attacking them, saying that you have done something wrong. Mahaprabhu did not stop at Pavitra Bharsan. Pavitra Bharsan means purified chastisement, ungrudgingly chastising. When a senior person chastises a younger person, there is no grudge, there is no envy, there is no intention to suppress them or oppress them, or discourage them or demotivate them. The intention in chastisement or giving a feedback is a desire for improvement. You are genuinely desiring the improvement, therefore you are giving chastisement. Then the Lord would say, Tumi bhala kriya cha sikhana anyare. Yehi mata bhala karma se yogi na kare. Mahaprabhu would say, you are doing great. You teach him, he's struggling there. So whenever somebody is stuck and not doing things properly, Mahaprabhu would assign that devotee to another devotee who is doing it well. He is doing it right. Please learn from him. And we should not feel hurt by it. He's doing better than me. The very fact that we are asked to learn from somebody may make us very disappointed and offended sometimes when we are egoistic. Although a person is giving feedback with a pure heart, with a sincere heart, with a desire to improve the other person's performance, but if the other person is not in right consciousness, he may get offended. He may feel bad. That's why when the feedback giver has a genuine well-wishing intent, and when the feedback receiver also has a genuine humility and desiring self-improvement, then the feedback will work. Although you're giving feedback with all good intentions, other person may not take it if he is egoistic. Vibhishan gave feedback to Ravan. You better return Sita Devi respectfully to Lord Ramachandra and protect the Rakshasa dynasty in Lanka. But Ravana never heard it. Vidura gave feedback to Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. They never heard it. Prahalad gave feedback to Hiranyakashipu. He also never heard it. Although you are giving feedback with a very genuine intention, positive intention, some people cannot take it. But some people can take it. So such combinations of feedback givers and takers is very effective combination that will increase the overall performance of the service. So let us not unnecessarily take it to heart or become egoistic or get offended when others are giving us corrections. Yei katha suniya sabe sankuchita hayam alamate karma kare sabe manatiyam. When Mahaprabhu told them, you learn from the other person who is doing it better. Or he is telling the person who is doing it better, you go and teach the other person who is not doing it well. When Mahaprabhu said like this, other devotees felt samkuchita hiya, they felt little ashamed. When you feel ashamed, what should be the result of your shame? When you feel ashamed, you withdraw sometimes. You become egoistic, you become offended, you become very disappointed. It's too much, you may say like that. But when you feel ashamed, if that feeling of shame is inducing a feeling of guilt and repentance and helping you to perform better, that is great. Because sometimes repentance also, regret can also be egoistic regret, not a very good regret. Egoistic regret leads to depression. But genuine repentance will lead to improvement. When I have done a mistake, when somebody points out that you have done this mistake, what should be my response? There are two ways of responding to it. Positive response is, oh, I have done this mistake. I feel bad. I feel guilty. Let me improve. Let me do it with greater determination. That's good. Positive response. But other person will say, my mistake has been revealed to this person and is pointing out me. And he's humiliating me. He's insulting me. I'm good for nothing. You go into depression or you start developing regrets towards the person who is pointing you out. So all that will only ruin our future performance. But Mahaprabhu gave them feedback in such a way that the devotees felt, Bhalamate karma kare sabe mana diya. They wanted to work with greater attention. They did not deny the fact that they are doing it wrong, but they wanted to improve their attention in service. Next. Tabe prakshalana kaila Sri Jagamohana. Tabe prakshalana kaila Sri Jagamohana. Bhoga mandira adi tabe kaila prakshalana. Then they washed Jagamohan area and other Bhoga mandir and other things. Thus, Gundica Marjan was complete. Everything was thoroughly cleansed. Now I will not recite all the shlokas, we'll just go a little faster. And a Vaishnava from Bengal area, very intelligent, but still very simple. He came and poured water on the Lord's lotus feet publicly and he drank water in front of everybody. Then Mahaprabhu became very unhappy. It's a little unhappy. Internally, although he was appreciating what this person has done, his faith, externally, by acting like a devotee, he chastised him. He said, that Swarup Damodar Goswami, see what your Gaudiya Vaishnava is doing, what this Bengali Vaishnava is doing. Prabhu says that all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas are followers of Swarup Damodar Goswami. And he also says that this person is washing my feet within the temple. Is it appropriate? In the temple, you offer obeisances to the Lord, you can't offer obeisances to others. Mahaprabhu, in the mood of a devotee, is saying that I cannot receive obeisances from all these people. It is washing my feet and drinking their water. It's a little too much. So he felt very, very embarrassed. Then Swarupadamodar Goswami took him by his neck and then took him out. Apparently, it seems very harsh. But Swarupadamodar Goswami ultimately pleased with this person. And even Mahaprabhu is also pleased. But just to respect Mahaprabhu's sentiments, Swarupadamodar Goswami became little harsh with him, apparently. But later, Swarupadamodar Goswami came back to the temple and he told Lord Chaitanya, can you please excuse that innocent person? He did it out of innocence. Mahaprabhu said, oh. Internally, he was happy. The Mahaprabhu was very satisfied. He then asked the devotees to sit down in two lines on both sides and he started doing little more thorough cleaning. And finally, he fed them Mahaprasad. And they also did Hridam Sankirtan. And many other interesting things happened. In short, this whole episode of cleaning of Gundica temple reveals us very, very important lessons. So one lesson is that we need to keep our hearts clean so that Krishna can enter. They are making Gundica temple clean so that Jagannath ji can enter there. Similarly, we need to keep our hearts clean from all anarthas so that Krishna can enter our hearts. So that's the ultimate lesson. And along with that, there are so many lessons on cooperation, collaboration, accommodativeness, giving feedbacks, receiving feedbacks, and teamwork, and patience, and readiness to do menial service instead of just holding on to only privileged services. Like that, this Gundica Marjan can give us so many such important lessons. So this will conclude. Any questions or comments? Yes, Mataji.
Would you like to talk about our anarthas, which we have to clean? The gross anarthas we recognize it, but then the subtle anarthas and puja, things which really bother them. How to get them uprooted is very hard. We try, but then sometimes it's very delicious in our special life. It's hard. How people have our function.
Yes, gross anarthas, following for regulative principle, for example, one can come to that stage faster. But certainly there is some envy, pride, duplicity, diplomacy, hypocrisy, or superiority complex, inferiority complex. All the subtle anarthas will take longer time. The solution is to sincerely practice the process itself. The process itself will clear the anarthas. It will take some time. To the degree we are affected by the subtle anarthas within, to that extent, it will take time for us to get rid of them. To the degree the material contamination is there, we are carrying that material contamination for a long, long, long time. So just few years, 10 years, 12 years of chanting Hare Krishna will not immediately cleanse them. That too, we are not chanting so attentively. We are dozing off in japa. So few years of inattentive or irregular or struggling practice of devotional service may not completely eradicate all the subtle anarthas. It will take some time. So all we need to do is patiently continue the practice of bhakti. And the subtle anarthas will go away. And the beginning of their going away is to sincerely desire to get rid of them. So when we have this concern that I still have subtle anarthas and we desire to get rid of them, that's the beginning. And that should follow by sincere endeavor of practicing bhakti. And that should also be accompanied by sincere prayer. Desire, endeavor, and prayer. So these three things can help us get rid of anarthas and advance in bhakti. The process is this only: reading Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting the holy names of Krishna, serving Vaishnavas, worshipping the deities. Just stick to these 9 processes of bhakti or Panchanga bhakti. That will only clear all the subtle anarthas. All the other techniques are there, like for example, envy. Just pick up this envy anartha. You can write a full book as big as this book on causes of envy, effects of envy, how to eradicate it. Then take anger. Then anger management. You can write a big book. Then you take illusion. Or you take pride. You can write a big book on it. But in short, all the anarthas, whether it is anger or illusion or pride or envy or greed, all of them will be completely cleared when we perform bhakti. Pravishtah karnana dharena svanam bhava saruruham dhunoti shamalam krishna salilasya yatha sharat. When we allow the sound vibration of Srimad Bhagavatam to enter our ear holes and thus invite Krishna into our ears and into our hearts, ear is the gate, heart is the home. And we are inviting Krishna into the home of our heart by allowing the Bhagavatam sound vibration to enter our ears. He will clean it. The more we hear Bhagavatam, the more we'll get rid of all these subtle and gross anarthas. Because Bhagavatam is filled with stories of pure-hearted devotees who don't have anarthas. Kunti Maharani, she underwent so many difficulties, but she did not have anarthas. Pandavas faced so many difficulties and reversals and injustices, but they did not have anarthas. Bhagavatam is filled with people who are pure-hearted, yet no anarthas. Pure-hearted, yet they faced some difficulties, but they did not have anarthas. When we hear the stories of such pure-hearted people, then we become cleansed of anarthas. We see the effects of envy. Indra was envious of Prithu Maharaj. What happened to Indra ultimately? And Prithu was not envious. What happened to him ultimately? So by hearing more and more about the stories of Vaishnavas, then we'll get rid of all these subtle anarthas, duplicity, diplomacy. By being diplomatic, what am I supposed to attain? By being duplicitous, what am I accomplishing in your life? By being hypocritical, whom am I trying to please? Whom am I trying to satisfy? If I'm hypocritical, diplomatic, or duplicitous, will Krishna be pleased? Will Prabhupada be pleased? Will my Guru be pleased? Will the Vaishnavas around me will be pleased? Will I be pleased? No, nobody's getting pleased. Then why should I hold this diplomacy? For some petty things to happen. These political tendencies and diplomacy, duplicity can give us an immediate sense of success on a material plane, apparently, for a temporary amount of time. But ultimately, they will only discourage us in our advancement in life. They will not bring us anything positive. So, knowing their crooked nature, we should at least intellectually understand they are bad and try to avoid them as much as practically possible. Does it make sense? Any other question?
One question I had is, so if we say, this is to say, right, if we say Hari's name or Krishna's name, even by mistake, accidentally also, all your sins are absolved. And, but then you also say that we can chant for years together, nothing will happen. Is it about one is about sin, one is about reaching, attaining God?
बहुजन्म करे यदि श्रवण कीर्तन तब न पाए कृष्ण पदे प्रेमधन. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, the point that you are quoting. Even if somebody chants and hears for so many lifetimes, they may not attain Krishna Prema if the chanting is with offenses. Shravanam and Kirtanam especially chanting the holy names of Krishna, then accidentally also will benefit us. But if it is done with offenses, we have a long, long way to go. The first offense to the holy name is offending a devotee. Ajamil chanted the holy names of Krishna without an intention to call the Lord Narayana directly. He was trying to call his son. Ajamil chanted without faith. Ajamil chanted on the deathbed, not throughout the life. Ajamil chanted by committing so many sinful activities. Still, holy name helped him. And there is a big holy name seminar given by Vishnu Dutas to Yamadutas. Ajamil chanted without any offenses. Although it's innate into chanting without faith, etc., still it's like Namabhas. He did not commit offenses. You know how it is offenseless chanting? Seventh offense to holy name is to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. It can also be read in another way. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name means I am chanting anyways, so let me commit sinful activities. Or I have committed so many sinful activities to escape reactions, let me chant. One case is you commit sins first, then you chant to wipe them out. Second is you chant first, then you commit sins on the strength of the holy name. Ajamil never committed these two aparats. Ajamil is doing sins. Ajamil is chanting Narayana, Narayana with affection, calling his son, and with anxiety when Yamadutas came to him. But his chanting and his sins are disconnected from each other. He never committed sin thinking that holy name will eradicate the sins. He never chanted hoping that his previous sins will be eradicated. So he did offenseless chanting. It's not pure holy name, it's not Suddhanam, and it is like Namabhas. So Ajamil was protected. That when we chant and when we commit offenses to other devotees or offenses to holy name, 10 offenses are there, then it will take long, long time for us to get delivered. But if we do offenselessly, if we chant offenselessly, then we can get, why in one lifetime? In one moment also we can get if it's totally offenseless. But how to make our offensive chanting into offenseless chanting? By chanting. Even if there are offenses in the beginning, continue to chant. One day it will become offenseless chanting. And we don't have taste for hearing. What are we supposed to do here? Chant if you are unable to taste sugarcane juice. What are we supposed to do? Taste sugarcane juice. One day it will become sweet. It will appear sweet. The solution for inattentive chanting is more chanting, continuous chanting. And the result of continuous chanting is more chanting. Our means and our goal are same. Chanting the holy names is the means to attain Krishna Prema. You chant Krishna Nam to attain Krishna Prema. Once you attain Krishna Prema, you chant Krishna Nam with Krishna Prema. Initially, we don't have Krishna Prema. Without Prema, we are chanting. By chanting, we get Prema. Once you get Prema, you chant with Prema. So, to eradicate the offenses to holy name, you can chant holy names. To develop taste in chanting holy names, you can continuously chant.
Like realistically, in this world, when you're working, when you're doing, like you have all some different things, can you chant offensive chanting on a consistent basis? And how many years, either like set of years, that of say, okay, now I've become I'm practicing for so many years, maybe I need to reach that goal. Any formula?
As far as time taken to come to pure offenseless chanting is concerned, I know. And we can't say it also. It depends on the sincerity of the chanter. How sincere is their chanting, and how sincerely are they desiring to chant offenseless? How sincerely are they praying to come to the stage of offenseless chanting? It depends, and it can be different for different people. Some people can come to that stage in 1 year. Some people can come to that stage in 10 years. Some people may take 10 lifetimes. Some people may do it in the next day of Brahma also. Or some people may not do it also. It all depends on how sincere are they. It's individual. As far as the first half of your question, what did you say? While working,
I feel like their consciousness is definitely more better than people who are working outside in the field.
supposed to be better.
I don't know if the points are or not. But in the real life situation, like normal sadhakas or working or family situation, so is there any chance for it?
There is chance. As you said correctly, Sangat Sanjayate Kama. And somebody is doing their work in a spiritual ambience, spiritual atmosphere. That spiritual atmosphere facilitates them to chant better. In a temple they are working. In most temples you see in one corner Prabhupada's kirtan is being played holy, softly. Consciously or unconsciously are hearing holy name. They are chanting holy name. Like that has a purifying effect. When you are working in a corporate, nobody is putting proper staple there. So you are hearing so many other things around. Maybe somebody is playing some instrumental music or maybe some filmy songs also. The consciousness will get corrupted also. So definitely when you are in a spiritually surcharged ambience, the possibility of being more Krishna conscious is there. But when you are in a very materialistic environment, possibility of being Krishna conscious is less. So that is taken, correct. However, somebody can be thoroughly spaced out in a spiritually surcharged ambience. And somebody can be thoroughly Krishna conscious in an extremely materialistic environment. When there is an individual commitment to the process. Sita Devi stayed for 1 full year. Mother Sita stayed for 1 full year in Ravana's kingdom, surrounded by so many Rakshasas. They were doing Ravana Katha, not Ram Katha. They were breaking 4 regulative principles constantly. But not a single moment she deviated from Ram consciousness. Rukmani Devi, her own brother was forcing her to marry Sushipa. She was crying. She had to find a Brahman and send a secret letter to Krishna. She was Krishna conscious. Although the surroundings are very painful, still she was Krishna conscious. On the other hand, you have Satrajit, Satrajit was a Dwarkavasi, very close to Yadu dynasty. This Satrajit, he was worshipping sun god. He was so attached to a material object called Samantakamani. Because of that attachment, he even he even disregarded the order of Krishna. He offended Krishna. Being a Dwarkavasi, he offended Krishna. While living in Lanka, Sita Devi was thinking about Ram. Vibhishan was thinking about Ram. So, although association has its own significant role to play in our lives, that's not a substitute for our individual commitment to the process. When we are committed, when we are determined, wherever we are, we can be Krishna conscious. When Prabhupada came from Vrindavan to the West, to America, what devotee association he had? But Prabhupada Lilamrit says, not a single day passed without Prabhupada chanting the holy names or speaking Bhagavatam or writing Bhagavatam. He was thoroughly Krishna conscious with zero association. Eventually, he created association for himself. So, determination. Determination is important. Commitment, individual commitment is important. Then it's possible. Does it make sense?
Actually,
The question is the verse you quoted, Elenamba, Sanketnam Parihasam. Shishupala is an envy person and constantly envy on Krishna. He constantly utters, different kind of. One, he constantly remembers Krishna. Why he's in the envy goes off. That's episodic, that is. Two, Krishna kill him. Is that is the only way to get rid of envy? If it is not going away by the chanting of the name.
Shishupal's case is little special.
Oh, okay.
Shishupal and Dantavakra were Jay and Vijaya, who were cursed by 4 Kumaras to take birth in the material world and act inimically towards Krishna. They became Ravana, Kumbhakarna earlier. Earlier they were Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. And Shishupal was thoroughly Krishna conscious, but with a negative emotion. And Krishna killed him and liberated him. Shishupal's case was little special.
So it is not going to happen in everyone's case, like in case of
When somebody has negative emotions towards Krishna, and if those negative emotions make them completely absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna with the negative emotion, they can be liberated by Krishna's grace. But if our negative emotions fall even slightly below the standard of Ravana or Kamsa or Shishupal or Hiranyakashipu, we'll go to hell. They are Mahajans in negative emotions for Krishna. So in terms of being 100% thoroughly Krishna conscious with negative emotion, they are Mahajans. If our standard falls below their standard, then we'll go to hell. Blasphemy of Krishna will take one to hell. Better be an innate into sadhaka, struggling sadhaka, sleeping chanter, rather than trying to follow Shishupal. And I can be Krishna conscious with negative emotion also. Right? Shishupal need not chant for any. Shishupal need not chant 16 rounds. People go to blaspheme with the Lord, I can blaspheme. But how long can you blaspheme? 24 hours you can blaspheme? He can do. He cannot do, right? Better follow sadhana bhakti. Even if we are innate into our offensive, still there is some hope for improvement. But that path is dangerous. It's 8 o'clock now. I should stop. Hare Krishna. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Shri Prabhupada.
It's Gauranga Darshan Prabhu ki jai. Once again, we express our sincere gratitude for this wonderful, wonderful session. And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. So just wanted to inform all the devotees that we have 2 more days of nectar coming from Prabhuji. So tomorrow evening, we have another session at Krishna Brahmani Mataji Subhasana Prabhu's place. And we're going to learn something very, very wonderful. And that is nuances of a Vaishnav character and Vaishnav relationships. So that's what Prabhuji is going to talk about tomorrow. And then day after tomorrow is going to be a very, very special class, very close to Prabhuji's heart, very meditative, that how do we tackle with distress in Vrindavan way. So that will be day after tomorrow, Tuesday evening at Ramakrishnan Prabhu's place and Nalvi Mataji's place. Okay, yeah, sorry. Okay, so that's coming up, and we have some bonus for everyone. So Prabhuji very kindly agreed that in the morning, as we do our regular reading after our japa call from 7 to 7:30. So as Prabhuji is here, and we requested, and Prabhuji kindly agreed that we're going to have 2 more special sessions tomorrow morning and day after tomorrow. That will be on Zoom, but if you want to join in person, you're most welcome to join. So that will be tomorrow and day after tomorrow. So please do not miss this wonderful opportunity. Now I see a lot of kids here, and today we are doing something special. As you know, they very nicely, wonderfully finished their school year, Sandipani Muni School, our weekly school here, and today they will be receiving their certificate. Okay, so kids are excited. Okay, so it's already 8 o'clock, so we have to do it little efficiently. So first of all, I would like to request our wonderful Sandipani Muni school teachers. So we request, oh, Bindu Mataji, very good. Okay, Ujjwala Radhika Mataji. Then Deepti Mataji, request you to please come and then we have Srini Prabhu also. And then Bindu Mataji, she just stepped outside. And who else? Yeah, sorry, okay. And then we have our Archana Mataji, I think she is online. So is she? Can we see? So Archana Mataji, our school principal, unfortunately she is not in town. They moved to Dallas, but she is online for this wonderful certificate giving ceremony. So we request you to please come. So what we're going to do is, Mataji, you can announce your kids and they can come over here. They will get their certificate and they will get the cookie prasad from Prabhuji. So without any further ado, we can. Yeah, let's start.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare
So I think it's very, all the kids are very happy because Gauranga Darshan Prabhuji is here and we'll be receiving it from him. And we have heard like Prabhuji has different classes conduct like for especially for kids, and he has so many books written like Bhagavatam tales and everything. So and then it's such a fortunate that today is that day where Sandipani School's certificate distribution and with his association. So I think most of the kids from Ghana class are not here. I know some are online, but would like to call. So I would just like to say about some. First is Mitra Balam.
Mitra.
Mitra is like 6-year-old and is 7-year-old. Our Ghana class is like 4 to 7-year-old age group, and in that age group, they are always excited on that Sunday to hear and learn about Krishna and like inquisitive about this. And this age is like you can see how much they are special souls. So I just wrote like lines about. He's like always in the class, very radiant with his smile, you can see. and enthusiastic and always participating and with a lot of questions. And yeah, he's always cheerful and always, attentive. So yeah, thank you, Mitra. Jai, he's not here, but I hope Jai is.
Yeah.
And then the most youngest Kana who is here is just 4-year-old, who is Arjun. Be an example. So I just want to talk about him like really quick because he's the most youngest and he's always on because we are conducting this on Zoom and being on Zoom with just watching on the screen and at that young age, it's and I know all the parents are really thankful for them. They are all always sitting with them and with their support. So he's truly like very at this young age, 4-year-old, very attentive, participating when I'm doing homeworks. So it's really, we should give really a big thank you. Laksha is not here, so we will just step on. Yeah, it's for Laksha. She's also 5 years and she's always very sweet and very like she's the only like she always teaches. Like I learn a lot of things. So before I start anything, she already know the answer. So the very active member of the class. And another is Arya. Arya is also very is also 5-year-old. She's not here. She is very soft spoken and also is always participates in the class. Darshan is not here. He's also 5-year-old and he's also very participative and he's not here. Jai, I think I didn't speak about Jai because he's online, so definitely doesn't. So Jai is he's the second time in Kana class. Last year he was also here. So he's very enthusiastic and he has, any shlokas or anything they do, he has all the answers and he always look for, if anyone is not there, he's always like, this one is not present, why is not present, like always. And that's really motivates me. All his questions and answers, a lot of things he always motivates like to take. So all his kids are special kids and special souls. So it's thank you for the parents who are really cooperative and because I'm raising them here in that age. So this is the perfect age and truly an example. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Download class. So they did really good. And this is my first time teaching community for download class. I'm really thankful for that. For this opportunity. And because of kids, I started learning more, and especially my Neela, because of her, I learn a lot because she keeps on making me on top of it, keeps on asking me questions so that I can be on top of answering all her questions, right, Neela? And everyone, Mahatma and everyone, yeah, thank you so much. First is Ayush Das. Right now. Always energetic, smiling face. Smiling, asking me lots of questions. Always helping me. Arush is Vivan. Silent. Aarti. Oh. Malak Bharat. Jayant. Kushal. Kushal. Some of the Damodar kids, Danya, Sita, Vimoti, Arjun, and I'm so sorry, Neela, we are gonna give you a certificate later, but you can collect your cookie. I'm so sorry.
Gopal's kids here. Yeah, very energetic. Gopal's kids are more than 10 years here, and they are no much party and they teachers every day. First name goes to the first station. I think he drives the class. Second one is Gripo. Very thoughtful. Ahona. Ishan. Always answers questions. He is the first person to read any of the story and try to ask many questions are there too. Arjun is like a scientist. He try to ask so many questions which are not in the boundary, goes with the boundary line. It's not here present, but I just call their name. Hansika, Lasya, Nitya, Dhanya, Rudra, Satya Kartik, Anvi, Dharma Kartik, Bharat, Sahasra, all are here. But you have the one business certificate here, Prabhu, but we are going to do later. So, Prabhu, please be in touch. They are also going to get this. Yeah. Okay, so last but not least, this was possible only because of the dedication, selfless service of all our teachers, started from Archana Mataji, who really stepped forward and conducted this whole wonderful school session along with the help of so wonderful teachers. I think Chandana was teaching with you. So Chandana, Srini, Prabhu teaching the elder kids, and then Bindu Mataji, Deepti Mataji, the middle age, and Ujjwala Radhika Mataji, the younger ones. So a loud Hari Bol from our hearts to all of the teachers. And also, we would like to express our welcome back to Sharda Radhika Mataji and Shakir and Prabhu. They came back from India from their Mayapur Yatra. Very good. So we welcome them back by loudly chanting. Okay, so with that, we are closing today's evening with wonderful prasadam. It's going to be served outside or inside? Okay, so inside we are serving prasadam, and then we'll meet back tomorrow morning. So the program starts, the class starts at 7. But if you would like to come early for japa session together, then you are more than welcome. Thank you all very much. Prabhupada ki jai.